Hi, in this video we're going to be talking about learning SAP development, where to start, what is ABAP, and how to get access to an SAP development system for free. So let's start. I have talked about SAP development or learning SAP development in my previous videos as well, but this one is really focused on how can you learn SAP development or learning specifically SAP development. If you are a big company and you're running SAP, you need some custom development. So big companies and SAP, they go hand in hand. Yes, there are a lot of small and mid-sized companies running SAP as well, but even they are big enough to bear the cost of SAP. So they are not your mom and pop shops, by the way. So when you are a company running SAP, 80 to 90% of your processes, they just run fine on an standard SAP implementation, whether you are running your sales and distribution scenario, your financial system, your human resource system, whatever. 80 to 90% of your processes just map directly on an SAP system. But the problem are rest of your scenarios where you cannot map your process exactly on an SAP data model. That's where you need custom development. You need enhancements and customization to existing SAP system, their data model, and you need a custom application, maybe complete custom application built, and that's where you need SAP development. And that's where SAP's developers who actually knows SAP development, they come into picture. I would suggest you to watch this video completely. I know everybody says that, but if you watch this video completely, it will give you a clear idea of where you want to start and how you can get access to an SAP development system so that you can start your learning journey within SAP. And this will be the most important step in your life if you decide to go start your journey with SAP development. So I would suggest that watch this video completely if you want to learn something today. The first and the most important thing that comes in my mind when I talk about SAP development is ABAP, ABAP, Advanced Business Application Programming Language from SAP. ABAP or SAP ABAP is the first and the most important development tool you should learn. I still think that. A lot of people are going to tell different things about it, but I still think SAP ABAP is the tool that you should be learning first if you want to get into SAP development. Yes, there are some ways that you can get into SAP development and do some front-end work by learning SAP UI5 and Fiori. There are some other technologies, but in my mind, I'm very clear about it. Maybe I'm biased because I came from SAP ABAP background way back. I do a lot of front-end development. I do a lot of architect work these days, but I still think that SAP ABAP is the language you should be learning first if you want to get into SAP development world. Yes, the way to learn it has changed. You have different paths of learning it. A lot of people starts with going into SAP GUI and start learning SAP ABAP still these days, but I think that should be changed. But learning SAP ABAP is the first thing you should be doing today. I'll be giving little background of ABAP, how it started and where it stands now in next section, and that should be very important for you to know, because that will give you an idea that where ABAP stands right now and how can you actually learn it, or the way you should learn it has changed, but the language itself is the same language. It has changed, it has evolved, but it's still the core of SAP. So let's talk about a little history of ABAP now. So SAP and ABAP, they started at the same time. ABAP was the language for SAP. They developed the language itself in C, but that's not important because that was that has nothing to do with an ABAP developer. So back in 1970s, late 70s, early 80s, they came up with this new language called ABAP, and it was a procedural language to start with. You can write your function modules, procedures. The big concept that I liked about was internal tables. You can get data, select and project data into a memory table, and then you can play around with that. It still is one of the very strong concept, and people still use that and think that one of the most powerful features of ABAP. So that was ABAP in the start. Back in 2000, early 2090s, they have made some additions to ABAP language and included some of the object-oriented features into this language, and like creating objects, classes, interfaces, polymorphism, inheritance, all these concepts were included. I still believe that it was not a very modern language still, because it still was lacking some features, but it was a big jump from SAP. Then the big change started time when SAP started their own database management system, HANA. It was in-memory database management system, and initially it was developed for business warehouse system. Then SAP thought that they can run their own ERP system on top of it. So SAP made another big change in the ABAP language also to utilize the power of that database management system, and that was second big change after creation of ABAP. And they included a lot of new features like inline declarations and statement chainings, and changes in the way you can access internal table as well. So they made it really fast for developer to write code as well. So that was second big change within ABAP, and now ABAP, I think, is a very modern language. You can access, another big change that they have made is you don't have to use SAP GUI to access ABAP development environment, which was the ABAP Workbench, SE80, famous. Now you can do that using Eclipse. You can get access to ABAP system using Eclipse, using ADT, ABAP development tool. And that was a big jump, because now you can develop like a lot of other developers are using IDEs. So that is another reason why I think that you should start with ABAP, because that gives you an idea of what SAP is, and also give you a chance to become a full stack developer within SAP space. So yeah, that is what ABAP is, and a brief history of ABAP. Now we will be talking about how to get access to an SAP system. Before I end my video here, let's talk about how can you get access to SAP development system in the cloud for free. There are two ways. I know you can do that. There are probably other ways too, but I'm going to be talking about two different ways. First is through Cloud Appliance Library, cal.sap.com. The link is in the description. You can watch that. You can click that, go to Cloud Appliance Library, look for a free solution through their search. Once you do, you will find a lot of solutions for development. Look for an ABAP development instance, and then you can deploy it from there to one of these cloud platforms like Google, Amazon, or Azure. Once you do, you can go and access these accounts through your Eclipse development environment, which is called ADT, ABAP Development Tool, or directly through GUI. Depends upon if the documentation is available there. You can access through SAP GUI as well. That is one way of doing it. I will be doing a complete video how to do that through Cloud Appliance Library and create your own instance, and how to access that through Eclipse or GUI in the next videos. Watch out for those videos, and it would be a good time to subscribe if you want to, so that you get notification for my next video as well. There is another way you can do that through BTP, Business Technology Platform from SAP. And again, the link is in the description. You can click that, go to BTP, create your own account. Once you have that account, you can create your own ABAP instance, and you can access through your Eclipse environment. I probably be doing another video on that too. and you can look for that too, but it's easy. You can do it yourself right now too. Once you have access to these ABAP systems, your journey can start for SAP development, learning SAP development. And I will be staying with you in this journey. You'll be learning a lot during all this time. So stay with me, subscribe, like, and I'll see you next video. Thanks.